Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Monotalk. Real simple. My show is about saving the planet and all of its inhabitants and having discussions or trying to get at opinions to find those that actually care. Right now, people across the planet are very concerned about our leaders because they really suck, our supposed public servants. And a lot of people that are out there right now are also very concerned that there's a lot of crap going on. That has been going on for decades, maybe thousands of years, where just the elite get what they want. And it's been like that for a long time, which I'm not against people doing well, making money, having fun, but there's just a lot of people on this planet now. It's just a lot going on, a lot of pollution, and you got to give. You got to give back a little bit. I think it's time. I think it's definitely time. All right, so question of the night for me is, what political party do you truly trust? Right? Which one? I don't trust any of them. I don't trust any of them. I really don't. It's really sad. I mean, if you're watching what's happening with the Democratic Party and how they're treating each other, but it's only for one reason. It's because somebody out there is saying, hey, do this. It's not a group of people. It's one person making that decision. And it always comes down to one guy or one girl. It's probably the Clinton Mafia, which I love to bring up because I do believe they're a mafia now, which is pretty par for the course. I mean, for what we've seen, what we've heard, and what they've done, for them to speak and do what they do and act as they do, it's kind of obvious. It's kind of obvious. They've become a mafia type organization. And that's gone on with the Republicans as well. I'm seeing a lot of dissent. I've seen a lot of vicious, terrible pokes and prods and stabbing and backstabbing. Definitely with the Dumbocrats and the Republic uh, uh, on Facebook and Twitter. It's just overwhelming. And it's not coming from the Bernie bros. No, it's not. It's coming from people directed towards the Bernie bros and directed towards Bernie Sanders. Now, look, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We're going to try to see if we can trust and hope that Bernie Sanders will pull this off. And everybody believes, and I think it's quite apparent, is that the mainstream media, along with whoever that motherfucker is that's pulling those strings, right? Whoever that person is that's pulling those strings. I hope people can hear me. Oh gosh, maybe my microphone isn't on. Let me check. Everything should be working good. I can hear that. I can hear that. Okay, that sounds good. Good. Great. Okay, so what I'm really totally and absolutely concerned about is, who's that person that's pulling those strings? Who's that person? Who's that person that's actually telling everyone what to do? Well, you could definitely say Bloomberg has done it many, many times. And it is a travesty. It is a shame, a total fiasco, and it's truly embarrassing, not just for the party, but for the country. For him to come in out of nowhere and buy his way into now 2 debates. And his commercials are everywhere during the debates. Because when you have $60 billion, you can do these kind of things. Whether it came from the backs of his minimum wage workers, blood, sweat, and tears of all their trials and tribulations to help build his wealth, which has been the capitalistic way for a long time in this country. And sadly, that's what's happening. If you're not truly understanding that just by the DNC allowing that or condoning it or authorizing it speaks volume, tells you exactly what the DNC is about. It's not about you. They're they're not about you. So how can they be trusted? They can't. Now you know the Republicans, they're you know what they want. They want big government to control women, big government to control with religion, big government to control pretty much everything you say and do, whether they say they don't or not, which is just a total facade. But they want to have that power, and they want to give that power to private industries. They want to put the United States of America up for sale. But guess what? It already is up for sale. It already is. And if you watch the commercials during the debate, you'll see big pharma commercials. I think there was a few commercials um, for, I think it was maybe oil or something. I don't know, but you have to see with who the advertisers are for MSNBC and CBS and ABC, and CNN. Their advertisers tell you who they're who they're loyal to, and it's not you. Are they making a commercial about you? For your benefit? No, they're not. They're making a commercial or taking money from big advertising companies on the behalf of totally and absolutely on the behalf of their donors, of the people that control what they say and do on the airways. So let's just say here's an example of why that happens, just so you guys can understand what's going on. I have a company. I want somebody to make a flyer for me. I want them to put certain information also in a newspaper for me. I can add. And if they don't follow what I want, they may make suggestions. The advertising company may make, or the ad company may make, or the publication or the media outlet may make a few suggestions, and they may want to put their information in there. But if they put any information in those articles that hurts my company and my business, they don't get my dollars anymore. This is why campaign finance reform is so entirely hugely important. This is the first thing that these people should always be talking about, and I brought this up since I fucking even started back in 2012 or 14, whatever it was, a long time ago, is true campaign finance reform needs to happen. You need to completely take the equation of money out of politics, or you're going to get fucking fiascos like this. I was watching the debate live, and it was a fucking joke. It was absolutely, completely, and obviously geared and created and orchestrated to try to dismantle Bernie Sanders. Yes, it was so obvious. And these people that are running these commentators or these supposed journalists, right? They're just doing what they're told. They're the writer for that article. They're the writer for that ad. They're slaves to the elite, to the corporate elite, to the 1%. They're slaves. They're a higher level of slave because they get paid more money. But it's part of the process right now. So because the fact that parties are untrustable, and I'm telling you, the Republican Party is the same because they don't give a shit about you either. I hear H.A. Goodman saying all this shit about the Democrats. Yes, because they do it. They try to sneak around and do it, but now they're more blatant with it, which is really sad and pathetic. And now they're fucking apologizing for it. But the Republicans are no different. They're for big fossil fuel companies. They're for big pharma. They're for big insurance, right? They don't want you to have full, comprehensive, universal health care with no copay. Can you imagine the amount of money people will be losing in the insurance industry and the pharmaceutical industry if all of a sudden the United States decided to give you full quality, universal, uh, full comprehensive universal health care with no copay? What would happen to them? They would die out. They would no longer be stealing and taking and destroying and killing people anymore. They wouldn't. It'd be done for them, which is good. which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. Oh, somebody's actually watching my show. Hey, Jonathan Melton. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for being here. Yeah, I don't get a lot of people, but from what I'm seeing right now is people just do not trust the parties. They do not trust the polling. They do not trust the primary or election process. There is so much distrust right now in our nation. It's terrible. I think the rating of the Congress, I think the number, and I could be a little off here, the quality assurance or whatever the rating is that the U.S. Congress is getting is like 13%. It's out of 100. Nobody fucking likes these people. Nobody. They're not doing anything for anybody. They're not doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for you. It's really sad. I mean, you've got fucking buffoons like Joe Biden. I mean, have you heard his gaffes? The times that he's mumbling and fumbling. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But I'm not on a fucking debate stage trying to be the president of the fucking United States. This guy completely and totally continues to say this dumbest fucking things in front of town hall meetings and 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 people that are just having group meetings or having rallies or something of that sort, and this guy just can't get his, because he's lost it. He's gone. At a certain point, your brain just doesn't work, right? Mine's probably going to go in a few months. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, there's just no way that guy can fucking be our president. Plus, he is so totally and absolutely Joe Biden is corporatist, uh, further right centrist. He's not going to get you health care. He's not going to get you a minimum wage. He's not going to do any of that shit for you. He knows it. He knows it. He won't. He can't. He's a fucking. He's been a puppet for a long time. He's been a. Not a big as puppet as Puppet Pete. Pedo Joe is not as big as a puppet as Puppet Pete. That's for damn sure. Right? That's for damn sure. Now, Puppet Pete, the only thing I have to say about him is he is the fucking biggest puppet I've ever seen. You know, we're going to have a good thing and we're going to put this together and we're going to this, positives, platitudes, talking points, but no fucking substance. He was at a McDonald's rally the other day, and all he could say, because they're trying to get a higher minimum wage, we support you. We support you. I'll support you. To what? You need to commit to shit, which you won't. And the fact of the matter is, he'll do whatever he has to say and do because he's being motivated from what I've heard by some pretty nefarious and mischievous groups of people out there that are definitely, you know, right behind and along line with Trump and Bloomberg and the Clinton mafia, etc. He's right there. He's right there with them. Klobuchar, oh my God, that woman she's shaking. She's constantly shaking. It's sad. I can't even watch her. She doesn't have a fucking chance. She's probably a great soccer mom. She looks like the ultimate great soccer mom. That's cool. That's cool. But she also does some other great things, and she is a senator, and she's some wonderful things. But I cannot see that woman in because her instability and the way she's handled herself. I just can't see it. Joe definitely instability. He's just fucking whack job. Um, Puppet Pete's just a fucking puppet. He's going to do whatever the 1% want him to. He's kind of like Nancy Pelosi, but with a dick. Let me see. Tom Steyer. That guy's got some good stuff. I like what he's saying, but I don't. But he's kind of got that Yang thing going. Opportunist. Like there's something he's trying to get out of this. Oh, he'll write a book. I don't know if he'll write a book or he'll start him. He might run again. He might run again, but honestly, I'm not really doubting the guy. And I think he's kind of genuine. I'm feeling a little genuine about him. But obviously, he's done and said some things, and he wants to bring. He's not about full comprehensive universal health care with no copay or single payer or Medicare for all. He's just not with that. I mean, and I like to tell people when somebody says, "So how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to take care of it? How are you going to make it work?" Well, how are we doing what we're doing now? Is it working? No. Millions of people are still fucking dying. Hundreds of thousands are sick. Like millions of people are sick and uninsured. People are dying left and right. The system doesn't fucking work. So give me an example of something that works. Or let's try to make something that does. And I do believe if we put the effort and the energy that we put into the military, that we put into these fucking stupid debates and campaigns, and the money that we put into just tax loopholes and subsidies to all these elitist corporations, I think we could create a really great healthcare program and also start to build this country in a green, more positive way, removing ourselves from fossil fuels. By the way, Bernie doesn't like nuclear, and I'm very happy about that. And I know he doesn't like fracking, and I know he doesn't like oil, and I know he doesn't like coal, which is all old and outdated. It's old and outdated. It's just, if it doesn't cost money, then you can't make money at it. I'm going to repeat that. When it comes to energy, and this is the way the grid or these giant companies make money, if it's not costing money, if it's not, if there's no need for a bank to finance to go dig and buy tools and all this other shit, which happens in the green area, of course, but not to the extent of fracking and nuclear and giant oil rigs, that are billions of dollars that it costs, and then more billions to maintain them, right? But a solar panel on your roof, that's it. That's heating, air conditioning, fuel for your car, right? So a couple of wind turbines, maybe a couple of turbine dam propulsion systems, and there's so many other ways that is so cost efficient. But the thing is those things don't cost money. It's not a huge investment, so there's no money to be made, and therefore it doesn't make people money, and that's the sad part about it. Because if you're not making $300,000 a year, you're just not making enough money. If you're not making $150,000 a year, you're just not making enough money. I know people in California that are making $150,000 to $300,000 a year, and they look at their surroundings and they go, "You know what? I'm not making enough fucking money." Which brings me to an example of when I was younger. I had a family, had a wonderful house. Got a little personal here, but it wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. And I think I learned my lesson for sure. I hope somebody else did. But the moral of this whole entire story is there's almost 8,000 billion people on this planet, and in about 25, 30 years, there'll be about 10,000 billion people. Now, I'm not saying there won't be any elbow room, but I am going to say that's a lot of fucking pollution. That's a lot of waste, shit, piss, chemicals, junk, plastics, you name it. There's a many things that we need to turn around dramatically to change what's happening. Or they can just create the coronavirus and kill a bunch of people, which I'm concerned about. And I'll just put a little take on that. It could be for the reason maybe Big Pharma, along with the CDC, who are all bought and fucking sold uh, at the Center for Disease Control, uh, are all bought and sold because most of them that work there now are people that used to work for Big Pharma, for Dow Chemical and chemical plants and fucking big pharmaceutical companies and shit like that, which is really sad. Which is really sad. So, and that's happening everywhere, all over the country, with a lot of people that are in the industries that shouldn't be in the industries that are now running the country, right? Kind of like, what was that guy's name that used to work for Obama? Reese or Rice or that little weaselly fucker. I forgot his name. But he used to work for J.P. Morgan Chase. Jonathan Malta. I love Tulsi, but I hate it. But she just didn't hit for blackout. This is why I've decided to actually vote for Bernie. Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm going to go into that. I'm going to go into that. But what the fuck was that guy's name, man? He was like his financial advisor or something like that, and you brought him aboard. And I can't remember. It'll come to me. It'll come. It usually comes later. It's a lot of files in here, people. A lot of fucking files. But anyway, here's the take on what's going on with these parties. Just to get back on center here, nobody cares if you're an elite player in the Republican Party. You don't give a shit about the people. You don't. You want them to think you do, but you still want them to work for $8.75 an hour or $7.70, whatever the fucking disgusting minimum wage is. You don't want them to have full comprehensive universal health care. You want them to pay out of their ass for it. You don't care if they die, right? You don't care about the infrastructure, broken down bridges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, unless your contracted companies can make money on it. And a lot of other things. It's strictly about greed and money. And that has been the base, the foundation of all of it. All of it is just, they just don't have enough money. They just don't have enough fucking money. And it's really sad. It's like, how much more money do you need, Nancy Pelosi? How much money do you need, Tom Steyer? How much money, fucking more money do you need, Bloomberg? I mean, seriously, right? Uh, when I saw Chris Matthews formally apologize to Bernie Sanders, what that did was tell me that the mainstream media is concerned and they want to be poised if it changes. They still have to have advertisers. They still have to have a way to pay their salaries. Do you know the effects that happen if you don't have big pharma paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for ads on MSNBC, on CNN, on Fox News? If these guys aren't, where is MSNBC going to get their money to pay Rachel Maddow $40,000 a day or $20,000? I don't know, some fucking god awful amount. Bernie will change. This is what's pissing off James Carville so much. He's not telling you why this is pissing all of them off. Bernie is going to take a fucking lot of money out of a lot of people's pockets. A lot of fucking money. Like, not just, 10, 15%, like all of it. Once you start moving to, and I'm very proud to say this, a democratic socialist process or a socialist process, which you're all fucking in anyway, but you don't fucking know it. If you don't understand that you're already in a socialistic type country already, then you shouldn't be watching. Maybe you shouldn't even be. I'm surprised you're breathing, honestly. I'm surprised you're even fucking breathing. Because capitalism is there, but it's because of socialism is the reason why it's still there. Capitalism is there because socialism, like Bernie says, and like many say, takes care of the leftovers or the shit that the capitalistic process shits out. For example, he brought up Walmart. I can bring up Home Depot. I can bring up many companies with fast food industries. Here's one, Little Caesars. That's one fucking industry that pays their people shit, right? And they work god awful hours, and they have people that are cussing and swearing at them because they don't get a $5 pizza in 10, 15 minutes. They're mad at a person that can barely pay their bills and eat and survive on what limited hours they give them in the first place. And what happens is they have to use social programs in order to survive. Food stamps, WIC, whatever's out there. This is the problem. This is the problem. Capitalism wouldn't exist without without a lot of socialism. Because people would be, if you took away the programs, take away all the programs that's social unemployment. Take away UI. Take away you go into a hospital, it's an emergency and you're gonna die, and the emergency room says, no, we can't operate on you. Take away that. Watch some people get fucking pissed off. That's where capitalism goes. To the extreme of not giving a fuck about you ever. It's a very libertarian way of just, fuck you, it's all about me, fuck you. And that's a disgusting part of it. So socialism, which in my opinion is kind of like a Star Trek thing, which I think is brilliant, which has to happen at this stage. There's just a lot of people. Not everybody's a fucking alpha. Okay, alpha fucks out there. There are people that are Bravos and Charlies and Deltas. Some Delta minuses. I mean, I've been an idiot many, many times. Many times. And I've also made mistakes. And not everybody can be at fucking alpha every fucking day, 24/7. And then you have some of them out there that are, oh, you know what? If you can't be there, you shouldn't fucking be alive then. Right? Because only fucking the strong survive. No, that's not the way it always happened. That's not the way it always. Sparta! No, they cared for their elderly. They cared for they cared for people. There was actually a socialist process in ancient Greece. Far more than most people even know. So when you start downing socialism and you say it's communism, like you have to do this and you have to do that, well, we want you to survive and want you to be healthy and have a good quality of life. What's wrong with that? What is that going to do? How is that going to hurt you? How is that? Ask anybody out there. The reason why the Dumbocrats or the Dumbocants or all these elitist Dumbocrats are having a big problem out there is they're only seeing money being pulled away from them. They're seeing down the road how MSNBC is not going to have advertisers like they want. They're not going to be able to find people that can pay them the money that they have because they've been ripping off the government and you and us for too long. This is the reality of what's happening. They have, and I'm talking about they, and these are very smart and brilliant people that have continued to pull the strings and manipulate and construct and get these fucking legislators and these judiciaries and steer them and get them to do whatever the fuck they want. And especially these executives like Donald Trump and Obama and Clinton and Bush's, all of them. They're just fucking puppets. They're puppets. Okay? I would say presidents, I'd say legislators are definitely puppets right now, definitely more so. But I would say that your figureheads or your spokesperson for your company or your corporation is definitely going to be your officers, like your mayors and your governors and your presidents, of course, right now. Of course. But this is where the panic is. This is where the panic is that's coming from the DNC, right? And you can't trust them. You can't trust them because they're panicking because they're seeing down the road that if Bernie gets elected and takes the primary, he's going to beat the shit out of Trump. Hopefully, he'll do it with Tulsi Gabbard. Hopefully he'll do it with Tulsi Gabbard. It's looking like it could be Nina Turner, which is okay too. I think is okay too. If he gets Liz Warren, but he might have to. But he might have to. I didn't really see her and he and her going after each other tonight, right? Oh God, Elizabeth Warren. She fucking hates Bloomberg with a passion. She's pissed. She's personally taking this. She should be. All of what surprises me about these two debates with Bloomberg is not one fucking person has said this. What the fuck are you doing on this stage? What in the fuck are you doing on this fucking stage? Current estimated human fecal production 9,336,576 tons worldwide. Oh my God, Snork. That is a lot. Also, I expect average Little Caesars pizza worker burns at least a gallon of gas per day to drive to work. Those costs adds up. Angie Gracie. Hey, Angie Gracie. I hope Bernie wins Warren State MA. Yes, of course. Of course. Okay. I'm getting a lot of. This is important. Okay. I'm green, but I registered Democrat so I could vote for Bernie. Because it's a big, long fucking process if I don't. And the reason why I'm doing that. Okay, let me go back a little bit here because I don't want to get too crazy. Let me go back here. Okay. So did that thing freeze again? Hold on. I got it. Okay, so I looked into the Green Party right after Bernie's spine took a shit out of his fucking ass in July of 2016. And he didn't contest the convention, which he should have made that stand at that point. But I think he had a meeting with Obama and then Hillary prior to that. I don't know what the deal was. Was it the house cabin that was $400,000? I don't know what the deal was or what they offered him or what they scared him with. There's been a lot of speculation on that, some theories, and maybe a few ideas that could be pretty fucking crazy, in my opinion. But I do believe that that's when he knew that he was fucked. Even if he tried to contest, there was something that happened that was shown to him or given to him or presented that he said, you know. But he had an opportunity to contest. I think it would have been in his best interest to contest. I think those bleachers would have been emptied, and I think there would have been a fucking riot if he would have said, "No, I don't agree with this. You're a lying, cheating, stealing fucking piece of shit, and your fucking mafia, Hillary, is full of shit. And I'm not going to fucking deal with this anymore because I'm angry and I'm not going to take it anymore." Right? The movie network. But as we move forward, I decide, you know what? I can't really trust, and this is why I'm having the show, the Democratic Party anymore. That was what happened. It was a Dem exit moment. A lot of people were jumping aboard the Green Party. Some were going libertarian. Someone even went real fucking crazy and jumped in the Republican Party. They say, fuck it. I have people that have been on this show and other shows like this that are definitely progressive or more liberal that have jumped straight over to the Republican Party for reasons I still do not know. Because they're kind of giving it to you straight, I guess. I understand that, but they're still, it's like, I'm going to show you the gun, I'm going to put it to your head, I'm going to pull it. The Democrats are like this. I can kind of see a gun here in my peripheral vision. I don't know if it's a gun, and all of a sudden it goes off. That's the Democratic Party. Now the Green Party is where I decided to go. All right, I became a standing General Assembly member of Orange County in California, which took a fucking process and a half. God, it was stupid. And then I became a media committee member, which was a fucking another nightmare just to get that fucking moving in the right direction. And keep in mind, they only have 250 registered green voters in the entire country. But most of them, I think 80,000 were in the United States, were in California. 80,000 of them, I think, were in California. So it was a kind of a big deal over there. And California is a big green fucking state. There's no doubt about it. But the things I started noticing about them is they had a lot of requirements. You had to think a certain way. You had to be a certain way. You had to. You couldn't be open or free or look at new ideas. You had to follow the old process. They were. Zoom has been around for a long time, and so has what's the other platform that we use here? When people talk on Google, that'll come to me at some point. Whatever. Um, they were still having their meetings by phone, sharing documents in emails when they could have been using Zoom. I brought Zoom to them. Now they're not using it again because I was the only person doing it in California when I was having meetings with them. So we were making headway. And then you'd have somebody that would come in and say, you know what? We don't do it that way. We never really do it that way. It's not that way. Your fucking way isn't working. You've been around for like 30 years and nothing's happening. You don't have one fucking person in the U.S. House of Representatives. You've never even came close to a Senate seat. You've never even came remotely close to a fucking governorship. And you still have people running for fucking president of the United States. I mean, I understand the reach, but it's like Evel Knievel when he jumped the Snake River, right? Or, no, it's a better one. It's like Mad Mike recently, who believes in the fucking flat earth, decided to go 1,800 feet in the air, which is, I think, the only height that he went up to. In order to see the curvature of the earth, you have to be at about 30,000 feet, by the way, or more. But he went up, and his parachute came off, and the thing came down, and he fucking splat flat and died. Yeah, the fucking YouTube, God, that guy got a lot of fucking jokes and really bad stuff against him. I mean, look, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's his parents. I would want to slap his fucking parents and the village he hangs around in because they're a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. Okay, but that's what's happening right now, and I'm not going to apologize because I have to be completely and totally honest with you guys. And I know you guys are running for president of the United States. But I know that you can't believe or think that in this present moment, any one of you, and I'm talking about there's like 10 of them that are running, and they're trying to get the full endorsement of the Green Party because they're having their own primary, by the way, with only 250,000 people in the United States that are registered voters to see who's going to be the leader. And I think right now they're going through the same thing the Democrats are. They're actually the Green Party of U.S. has already, in a sense, labeled one guy to be their guy, and there's other guys and gals that are like, what? We're trying to do this as well. And I think the point is not really to be the president of the United States. Because if you're thinking that you are actually going to be the president of the United States when you have a voting block of other fucking parties that have, let me see, 40,000, 120 million fucking to 150 million voters compared to maybe 200 plus thousand voters with the exposure that they're getting and all the money that's being filtered into their campaigns. Guys, Citizens United and McCutcheon versus the FEC is still here. It's just insanity. And I don't understand because they always get the great positions like city planner and fucking school administrator and fucking dog catcher, whatever the fuck they're going for. Yay, you're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year now. Good for you. But you're not really changing things because you're still under the fucking umbrella. You're still under the umbrella of the Republicans, and the Dumbo cans. You're still under their umbrella. federally, you're still under their umbrella. Ultimately, you still are. Until you guys will use your fucking brains and somebody go for House of Representatives, which there's a few, Rodolfo Barragan Cortez doing, and I wonder if Keith is doing it again, and a few others. I don't know what the list is, but I know some people that are, which I think is great. That should be the position you can go for. There's a chance there. Once you get in the House, then you can be seen. Believe it or not, CNN, people watch C-SPAN. So, look, I'm not going to explain the entire formula to you, but you need to be going for House of Representatives, period. Then you can get in then you've actually kind of stuck your toe in the door. Once your toe's in the door, then you can put the crowbar in and fucking pry it open. All right? That's got to be the best analogy I can give you. But for now, you're wasting your fucking time. Right? But it's good to have a Green Party person out there. They'll probably get a little bit of coverage. I don't think you'll get the coverage like Jill did, because she did some things. She was noticed. She was out there. Right? I don't know why she didn't run again. Honestly, I don't know. That was shameful. And this is the thing that really bothers me about the Greens right now is they're beating up. They always beat up the Republicans because Republicans suck, except for on the Second Amendment, which is fine. The Greens are pretty liberal about that. But they're beating up Bernie Sanders, and that makes no fucking sense to me because they think, and I do too. I'm there. You think that they're gonna come back? You honestly believe that he's gonna, shit out his spine at the fucking convention again, like he did back in July 2016. If that happens, then a physical revolution is definitely going to be warranted. I mean, what else is there to do? They're not listening to us. They're not going to do it. It's all rigged. It's all planned. It's all fucked. It's a fascist state. It's becoming more fascist. NDAA Patriot Act. Look it up. Right? Julian Assange is in fucking jail. How in the fuck is that guy in jail and not everybody he's fucking brought data out about isn't incarcerated? All right, so to the Green Party with love. Pull your heads out of your fucking asses, right? And start to fucking go for House of Representatives. Nothing else. Fuck the mayor positions, fuck the dog catcher position, put all your time and energy, get in the House, and then only then can you actually make a fucking difference. Good luck trying to make governor. Right? Sure, you can be a mayor of some small fucking town. Sure. It happens all the time. But for fuck's sakes, going for president right now, I get it. It's okay. That's okay. You're trying to make a statement. When you get a little information out there, you got your press releases. But you've got to go for House. Everything you do should be House of Representatives. And if you're not understanding, if you don't do it, then you're going to fucking die and go away. And you'll keep getting your little $30,000, $40,000 a year jobs at dog catcher, which is sick, pathetic, and stupid. But if that's what you want, keep going that way. I don't. I think the Green Party has some values and some pillars and some commandments and beliefs that are very important. I think this country needs. A lot of people aren't ready for all that, but they need it. Sadly, we don't have the right people running the Green Party. It's all centralism or something, where everybody kind of just does whatever the fuck they want. It's chaotic. If you watch it, if you notice it, it's fucking chaotic. Nobody's accountable. The Green Party doesn't even get mentioned by Tulsi or Bernie or I don't know anybody who's on the debate stage, except for I think Trump has mentioned the fucking Green Party. I think Trump has mentioned Jill Stein and the Green Party more than I think the Democrats have. Wonder why that is. Well, we do need a third party, and I'm hoping it's going to be green. But if we need to get another color, I don't know, magenta, teal, maybe. Sure. Wow, I'm going on 45 minutes. All right. So, what party can you trust? You can't. It's hard, but you've got to go vote. Before you take anything away from this, go vote. Go, especially primary. And I need to get this out. And I'm going to say this, and hopefully you guys understand this, which I know you will. If you are with the Bernies, the burners, and the next day comes up, you've got to show up before everybody else does. You've got to get a task force out of people that go out to the polling areas, that watch where they count the votes, where they do the processes, where they flip the coins. Fucking coins. What the fuck is that? Was it a football game? Ah! Right? What I'm really trying to say is you've got to be out there. And don't harass anybody, okay? Don't fucking harass anybody, Bernie people. But go out there and pay attention. Keep your phones and charge your phones. Make sure those videos are on. Get good angles, good lighting. Don't be shaky. Don't be afraid to stand there with your fucking phone. If they tell you to put away your phone, you'll have to say on what orders and by who. By who? They'll have to somebody physically will have to take that phone away from you. But I need you to have a group of people. Me and us, we're here representing Bernie Sanders. We're just going to monitor and make sure everything's fine. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. Well, too bad. We're going to stand over here away from everybody and just make sure things are done correctly. And we will be filming. Say it. Fucking just say it. Do it. Because these motherfuckers are going to try to cheat Bernie out of another fucking year. And if you're a stupid, dumb, moronic idiot, and if you don't vote for Bernie, then you're probably part of the 1%. You make a shit ton of money, and you're greedy, and you don't give a fuck, and there's something wrong with you. There's just something wrong with you. Right? A buddy of mine I used to sell cars with, right, in Irvine, California. We go back and forth all the time. Back in 2011, 2012. I've known him that long. Great guy. I think he's from Poland or somewhere out there. And he's a brilliant man. Brilliant man. But he's also a heavy Ayn Rand libertarian Republican. And some of the things he says, and he has kids. And he's got an alpha type mentality. Great salesman, doing good. But I try to tell him, I said, Janusz, not everybody is an alpha beta like you are, bro. Not every day am I going to be a beta or a beta plus or alpha minus. I mean, I've had my alpha plus moments. And I've also had my delta moments, right? Like everybody has. Not everybody and other people care about it. Not just your family. I care about your family. I care about their success and where they're going to swim, where they're going to play in the future, and what kind of soil and food they're going to eat, and what kind of water they're going to be consuming. What kind of air are they going to be breathing? Right? And I said, and he said, Medicare for all, and this other shit's bullshit. How are we going to pay for it? I said, how is that going to hurt you personally? How is that going to hurt you? If the 99% that have been waiting since the late 50s, forever, I think the 30s, have been waiting for universal health care for decades. How is that going to hurt you? No response. No response. How is it going to physically, socially, financially going to hurt you if we don't have these regime change wars anymore? Right? How's that going to hurt you if we start to mend relations with all the 20 it's 40 abused and attacked countries that this nation has gone after in the 220 years that we've been at war. It existed for 240 plus years. I mean, we've been at war for 220 years with ourselves or somebody in some way killing something or destroying something. And more recently, we've been feeding the military industrial complex like $40 million an hour. $40 million an hour. If we take that money away from them, yes, we haven't made a lot of friends, and we need bases, and we need certain things to be certain in certain places to assure our safety. Of course, we're not just Elizabeth Warren. I'm just going to pull everybody out. No, you're an idiot. Tulsi isn't going to do that. I know that. And I know Bernie wouldn't do it either. But all these things and changes that Bernie wants to bring to the table, how's it going to hurt you? It will hurt the 1%. Oh no, they won't get their 120-foot yacht. They'll have to only get the 89-foot yacht. Bummer. And they can't get the helicopter on the pad. They'll have to get a ultralight, if you know what that is. It's a small helicopter. What I'm saying is, if you're voting for anybody else besides Bernie, then that means you're not really understanding what's happening to the planet and the world and society and the 99% and the struggles that people are going through. Or you're just part of the 1%. Or you think you're going to be. I want people to be successful, but come on. You've got to help out. And it's not just philanthropy. Oh, I'm going to give to the society so I can get a fucking tax write-off. No. There's much more to it. Activism, being involved, making sure that your tax dollars are going to people that need the help and need the assistance, and the oceans and the rivers and the lakes, they need to be cleaned, and the pollution needs to be recycled better, and the list goes on and on and on, where your tax dollars will actually benefit and help. When you have people that are moving around and playing and they're healthy and they're having a good time, and they've got healthcare, they've got college, they've got everything lined up, and jobs and paying, and everything's good. And they even got UBI in case they need it. And guess what? Who starts shooting everybody? Who's that person that's going to start shooting people? Michael Bloomberg. Okay? Donald Trump. Or Michael Bloomberg Jr., Puppet Pete. Anyway, I think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. I think it's important that you guys try to understand what's really happening out there. The craziness that's happening is people are understanding that the money is going to start being pulled away, like yanked away from advertising and all this other stuff. It's going to be chaos for a lot of these companies that have been making bazillions and trillions of dollars for decades, that are on killing people. Military industrial compacts, big pharma, big insurance, that aren't going to get that anymore. And that's the panic that you're seeing. It's just about money. They're afraid they're going to lose their money. All right, I want to thank you all. You know what I want to talk about sometime is the moon landing. I don't know if that's really good or not. I'm kind of concerned if that would really. Anyway, I think it was a brilliant and wonderful thing. I'm just concerned that there's so many holes in it. I want somebody to try to convince me otherwise. Anyway, thank you for everybody. I hope you watched. If not, please send this out to the people that actually could. Ben, what's up, bro? I wish you had that recorded. It would have been good. Viral video worth 10,000 words. I wish Bernie was president to deal with the coronavirus intelligently. Oh, yeah. No, well, here's the problem. He believes in the CDC when a lot of us really don't believe in the CDC, Ben. So there's a lot of maintenance that this country needs right now. A ton of maintenance. Bernie is just scraping the surface on some basic issues that he's been working on for 30 years. That's where his mind has been. That's where he's at. But at some point, somebody's going to throw the fucking book at him. And he's going to go, what the fuck? And he's going to find out. that everything's fucked up, Bernie. Everything's really fucked up, man. Okay, I want everybody to have a good night. Thank you for listening to my show. Send it, give it to other people. Again, I don't trust these parties, but I've got to try one. And I think the CDC, excuse me, what's the name of that? God, I've had this in my head the other day. It's the corporation that decides who's going to be in the debates. I'm trying to remember the name of the. The company. It's a corporation. It's like CPC or CSP or SCPS or Child Protective Service. Anyway, they determine who's actually going to be on the debate stage, and it's a corporation. They're owned by the Republicans and the Democrats. That needs to be removed. We need to be able to bring another party onto the stage. Okay, and I think you just should have room for at least 2 or 3. Excuse me, at least 3 to 5. To start it off, 3 to 5. And if people like what they say, let them keep going. But you've got to take money out of politics first. That's just whatever. Okay, let's work on that first. Anyway, aloha. Thank you all for being here. You know what? I think I'm going to play the song.